boxers, briefs, and thongs. Black, white, green. All right, now I'm ready to begin my speech. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mike.
I can see that some of you look a little puzzled. I'm sure you've all seen on shows on TV when there's someone nervously waiting backstage ready to perform for a play or to sing. And then you have someone else back there with them telling them, to relax. It'll be fine. Just imagine everybody wearing nothing but their underwear. Well, I'm sure you're all well aware of how nervous I am giving a speech. And according to my survey, almost everybody in here feels the same way as I do. So I figured there has to be a better way of overcoming your fear of speaking than just imagining everyone in their underwear. So I did a little bit of research on it. According to WebMD.com, in an article on April 20th, 2006, they said the fear of public speaking strikes someone harder and differently than others. But if you can follow the 3 points that I'm going to talk to you today about, then there's a good chance that you can overcome your fear of public speaking, or at least limit it. The 3 points that I'm going to talk to you today about to lower your anxiety are the preparation of your speech, visualizing a successful speech while staying positive, and pre-speech warm-ups. First, I want to start off with the preparation of your speech. Preparation is the most important part to help keep down your speech anxiety. According to our textbook, The Art of Public Speaking by Stephen Lucas, they said the standard rule of thumb is that for every minute of presentation, you should spend 1 to 2 hours of preparation. So that would mean for us that are giving our speeches today, and for those of us that are speaking next week, you should have spent 9 to 18 hours on a speech for preparation for a 9-minute speech. For this speech, I actually spent 24 hours preparing for it. Most of it was writing it and practicing it. So the second part that you should do is also practice your speech for the preparation. According to Toastmaster International, you should rehearse out loud with all the equipment you plan on using, revise your speech as necessary, work to control filler words, practice to pause and breathe, and also practice with a timer so you can adjust for the unexpected. When I practice my speeches, I like to set my video camera up and practice using my preparation outline and then using my speaking outline. First, I like to read from my preparation outline word for word. According to our textbook, a speaking outline is a detailed outline developed during the process of a speech preparation that includes the title, specific purpose, the central idea, the introduction, the main points, the subpoints, connectives, the conclusion, and the bibliography of your speech. After I get my preparation outline together, I then read it word for word and familiarize myself with the speech, make sure it sounds the way I want it to, and to make sure I'm within the time that's needed. After I'm done with my preparation outline, I then create my speaking outline. A speaking outline, according to our book, is a brief outline used to jog a speaker's memory during the presentation of a speech. Once I make my speaking outline, I then go in front of the camera again and practice just using my speaking outline until I'm familiar with the speech, and check for time to make sure I'm within the time needed. Now that you know how important it is to prepare for a speech, it brings me to my next point. Another important component to calm your nerves is to visualize a successful speech and to stay positive. In an article on Forbes.com on June 3rd, 2009 by Richard Zeoli, he says the best way to fight anxiety and become more comfortable is by practicing in one place no one can see you, in your mind. Zeoli says, imagine your presentation, do it in as much detail as possible. Try to feel relaxed and comfortable. Do this every day up to the day of your speech, and you should feel more confident and relaxed. So I did. I tried this every day before the speech. I took a little bit of time out during the day and pictured myself doing this speech, staying confident, and everything went well in the speech in my head. And I didn't forget any parts of it. You also want to have a positive outlook on the opportunity of giving a speech. According to our textbook, The Art of Public Speaking by Stephen Lucas, it says that confidence is from a positive thinking, and if you think you can do it, you probably can. However, if you think of disaster and doom, that'll probably be the outcome as well. In an article from the Sales and Marketing Management dated October 2001, they interviewed Yvonne Bestfold. She's the vice president in charge of finance for Disney. She said she used to clam up before she took the podium, and she let her anxiety affect her speech. She states that she worked on her inner monologues, telling herself she was an expert before getting up to give a presentation. So for me, what I would take from Yvonne's attitude and what our book is telling us is just tell myself that I know what I'm talking about, I know the subject I'm doing, and concentrate more on relaying my message as opposed to being nervous. Now that I've talked to you about preparing and visualizing your speech, it brings me to my last point. I like to refer to it as the pre-game warm-up. It's the day of your speech. Your anxiety is high. Luckily, there are a few things you can do about it. According to our textbook, you should get the night before your speech, you should get a good night's sleep. So last night, I went to bed early and got a good night's sleep. Even though the kids were at their grandma's house, and it would have been a perfect night to go out with my friends. I stayed in, I went to bed early, and I got a good night's sleep. Now, in an article from the Toastmaster dated April 2006 by Joanne McCabe, she says that you should wear clothes that are comfortable and professional. She says that you should feel good about how you look, so when those eyes are on you, you can be sure that nothing takes away from your message. We also got a sheet, I believe it was the second day of class, called the warm-up. It was a bunch of different exercises that you should do. Now, I tried them, and when we were doing them in class, I tried them, and I felt a little bit silly doing them. But I tried them again this morning at home before I came here, and I still felt a little bit silly, but they did help me relax a little bit. Another paper we got was called the Quick Vocal Warm-Up. It mostly talked about different breathing techniques. I'm sure you remember that paper. I know the one exercise on in particular had you go, Now, when I was doing that this morning, it reminded me of the day my son was born. I'm sure you all know where I'm going with that. I'll give you the setting. I'm in the hospital room with my wife. The anesthesiologist walks in to give her the epidural. The doctor says, before you give her the epidural, let's see how far dilated she is. So he goes down, checks her out, pops up. You're 10 centimeters dilated. You don't have time for the epidural. Her face, and he told her, just start pushing. Her face dropped and turned white. So I knew I had to do something. So I told her, all right, hon, come on, let's go. Start pushing. And remember what they told you in the Lamaze class that you made me go to? Make sure you breathe. Oddly enough, though, I did not get a smile thanking you for the support. I did get some words that are probably inappropriate to repeat for the speech. And the last thing you could do while you guys are kindly, and I know very anxiously, sitting there waiting to give your speeches for the two that are left, is you can quietly tighten and release your leg muscles, or you can also tighten and release your fists. According to our textbook, that's what you should do. And that should help reduce the tension and release the extra adrenaline that you have. In conclusion, I hope you guys got as much out of the speech as I did researching it. Now, I can't say that I'm not nervous standing up here because I am. But to be quite honest, I think it takes a lot more practice than actually just reading a couple things. But the 3 points that I've given you, preparing for your speech, visualizing a successful speech, and staying positive, or while staying positive, and doing your pre-speech warm-ups, you have a better chance of staying calm and having a better speech. Besides, the suggestions that I've given you are also much better than just imagining your audience in their underwear. Not only would it probably offend most people, I'd hate to think that someone's standing up here today thinking about what underwear I'm wearing, considering I'm wearing my pink boxers with green polka dots. Thank you.